Croeso pawb to the Games Under £20 PSN sale. Before we get started, don't forget that Horizon Zero Dawn the Complete Edition has been added to PlayStation's Play at Home initiative, so you can download that for free right now, so don't miss out because that's an awesome game. And another good bit of news, PlayStation have changed their minds. The PlayStation 3 and Vita store are not being shut down anymore, so they'll be around a little bit longer. Anyway, back to the sale. This sale ends on the 12th of May, so that'll be your last day to get these deals. Let's look at the games. The first game is 1111 Memories Retold. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on an 84% discount for the price of £3.19, which is dirt cheap. This is a third-person story-driven adventure, where the graphics look like a painterly style, so it's a bit like you're in an actual painting. And this game covers the story of two soldiers who are on both sides of World War I front lines, so you get to see the war from both perspectives. This little game is one for fans of stories and historical World War fans. It's on sale pretty often though, so don't worry about missing out this sale if there's something else you want to spend your money on. Next up is Adam's Venture Origins. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for a price of £2.59, which is really cheap. This is a third-person adventure set in the 1920s where you play as an explorer, Adam Venture, on a journey with your companion Evelyn to unravel the secret of Eden by exploring ancient ruins and solving puzzles hidden within. This game has pretty mixed reviews, but it's pretty cheap, and I'd imagine the bad reviews are because it's a remaster of an old game, so the gameplay's a bit old school. But hey, at this price, if that's the sort of game you enjoy, you can't go wrong. Next up is Antiquia Lost. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on at least a 50% discount for a price of £5.99 or £5.39 with PS Plus. This is a 2D retro RPG set in the world of Edelstein, where dark clouds are gathering over the world, and you follow Byrne and his friends who set out to discover the truth of the world's real history, controlling characters from the three tribes of Fae, Ruta and Eth, featuring weapon refining, item harvesting, and mimicking monsters' powerful attacks. If you're a fan of old school 2D RPGs, you'll probably really enjoy this game, and the graphics are pretty nice for a 2D game as well, so if you like the sound of that, why not check it out. We're heading to France next. Asterix and Oblix XL2 is released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on an 85% discount for the price of £6.74, which is really good. This is an action platformer where Getafix has disappeared after supposedly betraying his own people for the evil Julius Caesar, so the Gaulish village are in uproar and the truth must be found, so Chief Vital Statistics sends Asterix and Obelix to Rome to search for the truth. I'm a huge fan of the Asterix comics, I love this franchise, and these games are pretty good as well. They've been around for a while and they've got a good pedigree. So if you like action platformers, you fancy a bit of old school gameplay, this is a pretty good game series to try out. And if you've never heard of Asterix, go and check out the comics. You're welcome. We have a management sim next, Avon Colony. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on a 70% discount for the price of £7.49, which is pretty decent. In this game you build a massive scrolling city on Avon Prime, an alien planet full of deserts, tundras and wetlands, where you get to manage your colony while exploring the planet, discovering its ancient secrets and alien wildlife. There isn't a huge amount of these sorts of games to choose from these days, and what I like about this one in particular is it doesn't have a load of expansions and add-ons, which means you pretty much get the whole package for this price. Although there is one add-on, but it's only £2.50 normally, and I've seen it on sale for less than that before, so you can't really go wrong. If you're a fan of city building and management sims, check this out. Next up is a sort of sports game, Blood Bowl 2 Legendary Edition. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £6.24, which is really decent, especially considering this edition includes 16 additional races and new features. In the main game you get to play as over 24 races and their star players, with a new solo Eternal League, challenge mode and even mix and match races to create the ultimate team. I've always heard really good things about this game, so if you're a fan of Gridiron or Madden, but you hate the microtransaction rubbish modes they shove in them these days, why not try a more fun arcadey version, especially if you're a fan of the theme of this game. It might just be the best sports game for you. Borderlands The Handsome Collection is the next game. It was released in 2015, so it's 5 years old, but it's a bundle of older games really. It's on a 75% discount for the price of £8.74, which is really good for more than one game. This edition includes Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Both of these games are really big first-person looter shooters and are pretty famous within that genre. In these games you explore the mayhem-filled world of Pandora as a vault hunter searching for hidden treasure across 2 full games in this award-winning FPS looter series. And there's also a free downloadable UHD texture pack, so if you've got a PS4 Pro or a PS5, you'll be able to play it in 4K, which is pretty cool. So if you're looking for a first-person shooter to play, and you love looter shooters, then you probably have these already, but if you don't, this is a great deal. Take a look. Another first-person shooter next, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £5.24, which is really good. This edition includes all the existing add-ons, plus brand new content, which is really cool. In this game you play Grayson Hunt, whose blind desire for vengeance gets him and his crew stranded on Stygia, and now he faces a difficult decision: survive and get his team off the planet, or seek revenge on a commander who betrayed him years ago. This game features a cool skill shot scoring system for the single player campaign, 30 competitive score challenges, and 12 co-op multiplayer maps. The Duke Nukem DLC is also on sale for £7.04, which allows you to play the complete single player campaign with Duke Nukem, including audio recorded by the original Duke voice artist. So if you're a fan of Duke Nukem, and you love arcade shooters, you'll probably have a lot of fun with this game. It's unique and definitely worth taking a look at. Next up is a horror game, Call of Cthulhu. It was released this year, so it's brand new, and it's on a 75% discount for the low price of £6.24, which is really good considering how new it is. This is a third-person action horror game. Set in 1924, you play a PI named Pierce who goes to investigate the death of the Hawkins family in the isolated Darkwater Island, where you get to explore a terrifying world of conspiracies, cultists, and cosmic horrors. Anyone who's familiar with the Cthulhu mythos will know what's in this game, so if you're a fan of horror and you like investigating things, you'll probably really like this game. And if you're a fan of Cthulhu, then you'll definitely like this game. But if all of that sounds terrible to you, then there's plenty more games for you to take a look at. Next up is a Metroidvania game, DERA Trials of Fear Edition. It was released in 2021, so it's brand new, and it's on a 65% discount for the price of £4.19, which is really cheap. This edition includes 3 new areas, a new boss, new music, more story elements, a secret ending, powers, and mechanics. And the main story is set in the world of Salt. On the brink of collapse, the population oppressed and isolated. And now you play DERA, a hero who has arisen to save them. This has some old school 16-bit graphics, and it's a Metroidvania game, so you know what you're getting there. It's a great genre, and this looks like a pretty decent game, so if you're a fan of Metroidvania games, you should check it out. And if you've never played a Metroidvania before, there are other better deals available right now, so subscribe so you don't miss out. Next we have Deus Ex Mankind Divided Digital Deluxe Edition. It was released in 2016, so it's 4 years old, and is on an 85% discount for the low price of £5.24, which is really good. It includes £12 worth of DLC, including 2 story expansions, extra items, weapons, and boosters. This is a first-person RPG set in the year 2029, where mechanically augmented humans have been deemed outcasts, segregated from the rest of society. You return as Adam Jensen, who is now forced to operate within a world that now despises his kind. But armed with an arsenal of state-of-the-art weaponry and body augment abilities, you get to play through the story making decisions along the way that crucially affect the outcome of the game. This is the second game in a reboot of a legendary series, and they're really well thought of. So if you like first-person shooters and RPGs, and you haven't played these, you might just want to take a look at them. We're going old school now, with Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour. It was released in 2016, but it's much older than that really. And it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is dirt cheap. This is an old school first-person shooter all the way from 1996, and it's one of the world's most legendary first-person shooters. It's historical, and this edition is fully remastered for PlayStation 4 and includes new content as well. It features a new episode, new weapon, the Incinerator, new high-fidelity re-recorded audio, and a new audio track from the original game composer. This game is basically the competitor to Doom, but with more fun and jokes. If you've ever thought, hey, what would Doom be like if it starred Arnold Schwarzenegger and had a ton of 1980s action film movie quotes in it, this is basically the game they made. So if you're on board with the old school graphics and gameplay, You'll get a lot out of this game if you've never played it before, and this is probably the best edition that's released so far. Nostalgia fans should definitely check it out. We have some DLC next. Fallout 4 Season Pass Bundle. It was released in 2015 and is 6 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for the price of £15.99, which is pretty decent as far as expansion DLC discounts go. The reason I've got this in here is because Fallout 4 is given away with the PS Plus collection on PS5, so a lot of people are literally getting it now or are about to get it soon. So if you've already claimed that game, then this is a good opportunity to pick up the DLC Season Pass. The Season Pass allows you to hunt evil robots to scavenge their parts and create your very own robot companions in the Automatron expansion, throws in new construction items from the Wasteland Workshop and Contraptions Workshop expansions, and you get to explore new story expansions in the Far Harbor, Vault-Tec Workshop and Nuka World expansions. So there's quite a significant amount of content included, and like I said, DLC is not much cheaper than this usually, so if you've got the game for free and you want the DLC, this might just be for you. A cool little indie game next, Felix the Reaper. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 90% discount for the low price of £1.29, which is awesome. This is a puzzle game where you enter the world of the living to try and impress the love of your life by manipulating shadows in order to move through the level's unsolved puzzles. And the soundtrack's really cool because there's 10 soundtracks and you can pick which one you want at any time, which is pretty different and unique. Fans of puzzle games should take a look at this, because at this price, you can't go far wrong. More old school now, Flashback. It was released in 2018, but it's much older than that really, and it's on a 90% discount for the crazy price of £1.59. This is an adventure game set in 2142. With no memories, you awaken on Titan, a colonized moon of Saturn. With your kidnappers and enemies snapping at your heel, you must find a way back to Earth while unraveling an extraterrestrial threat along the way. This was a really big game back in the day, but it's famous for being difficult as much as it is good. So if you're not a fan of old school games where the difficulty is quite high, then you may not want to take a look at this. But if you're an old school fan, or you've got the patience to make it through this game, you'll probably enjoy it a lot. Next up is more DLC. Kingdom Come Deliverance DLC Collection. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for the price of £6.39, which is really good for DLC. This is the complete DLC pack for Kingdom Come Deliverance, and it features treasures of the past, From the Ashes, the amorous adventure of bold Sir Hans Capon, Band of Bastards, and A Woman's Lot. So a ton of story expansions, and a lot of content. This is a really good game, and a really good bundle of DLC for it. So if you've picked up the game at some point and you never got the DLC, this is a good opportunity to get the DLC now. Up next we have Malicious Fallen. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £7.49, which is pretty good. This edition includes the PS3 and Vita games, plus new additional content, all remastered in full HD 60 frames per second. These games are third-person action games, where evil is unleashed upon the land, and only you, the spirit vessel, can stand against them. Take on back-to-back epic boss fights on a grand scale in this obscure action game from the developers of Bayonetta and Mad World. So if you like those games, or you like the sound of fighting big epic boss battles back-to-back, then you'll probably like this game. Why not take a look at it? Another DLC pack now, MultiCombat XL pack. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for the price of £7.99, which is pretty good for a DLC pack. This is another game that's free on the PS Plus collection on PS5, so if you're going to get a PS5 soon or you've just got one, you've probably just picked up this game for free, and this is a good opportunity to pick up the DLC for it. This DLC pack includes 25 skins, 2 fatality packs, and 9 playable characters, including Alien, Predator, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, Goru, Tanya, Tremor, Bo Raichu, and Triborg. I'm not a fan of paying for extra DLC characters, but considering most of these are licensed third-party properties, I can kinda see why you'd have to pay for them. So I'm neutral on this one, but in any case this is a good deal, and a good opportunity to pick them up if you're interested. More horror now, Outlast. It was released in 2014, so it's 7 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the low price of £2.32. Warning, there's extreme content in this game. and I mean extreme. This is a survival horror game where you play as an investigative journalist trapped in the Mount Massive Asylum, and now you must make your way through the mansion to safety. And it's full of crazy inmates, horrible characters, and lots of disgusting things, which if you're a horror fan is great, but if you're a bit squeamish, there's a lot of stuff in here that'll make you squeal. So if that sounds really cool to you, then pick this game up. But if it doesn't, you definitely want to stay clear. Next up is my star buy, Paranormal Activity: The Lost Soul. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.99, which is really, really awesome, especially for a VR game. This is a VR horror game, obviously, and it's compatible with Move controllers, so you don't need them to play it, but obviously it's probably better if you have them. This game's based on the film series, where you explore a house and unravel the mystery of its past, as you soon find that you are not alone, which again is a bit obvious. But hey, VR's really immersive, that's why I won't play horror games in it. But if you like horror games and you have a PSVR unit, this is probably one of the best horror games you can get for it. And at this price, it's dirt cheap. Definitely consider it if that sounds anywhere near interesting to you. While we're talking about VR, here's another one. Shadow Legend VR. This game was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, and is on a 45% discount for a price of £10.99, which isn't bad. This is a VR RPG made exclusively for VR, where Move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it. This game immerses you within a medieval realm of Anaria as you play the Crusader Grandmaster at a time when the gods of the realm are at war. You get to explore the world, find treasures and solve puzzles, while utilising swords, bows and magical weapons to defeat skilled enemies and bosses, and it features a load of world interactions, such as playing fetch with your dog, weapon maintenance, smelting in a furnace, cooking and many others. I included this because it's a really good VR game, and even though it's not a great discount, it's good enough to maybe consider considering it's kinda new. So if you've got a PSVR unit and you've been looking for something like this is one of the best options, but only pick it up if you don't have much else to play, otherwise it'll be on a better sale at a later point. Oh look, another VR game, Surgeon Simulator Experience Reality. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the price of £4.79, which is really good. This is a VR surgeon sim, where motion controllers are compatible, and you really should have them to play this game. If you don't have them, it's not going to be anywhere near as much fun. In this game, you play through fun and funny surgical operations in a variety of situations. Have you ever wanted to do surgery in the back of a speeding ambulance? No problem. What about surgery in the pitch black? We got that as well. Basically, it's a not serious at all surgery game, where you get to use hammers, hacksaws, blades, all sorts of things to do the surgeries with. It's one of those games where it's just as much fun to kill the person on purpose, or jam things in their face or pull their eyes out, than it is to actually play and complete the levels. If you've got kids, or people who are kids at heart, they'll have a lot of fun messing around in this game. I've got the game myself, and since I've completed it I don't play it much anymore, but it is fun to put new VR people in because they can just mess around and have a bit of a laugh. Up next, we're out of VR. Telltale Batman Shadows Edition is next. It was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, but it's a much older game series than that really, and it's on a 75% discount for the low price of £6.24. This includes the first and second series of the games, where you get to play as Bruce Wayne and Batman and experience a full story. There's chock-a-block for the classic Batman villains, including Joker, Harley Quinn, Bane, Riddler and Scarecrow. And for this edition it even includes a new mode called Shadow Mode, where the graphics are all changed to black and white, with a few bits of colour thrown in here or there, so it's a very different sort of feeling to the game. Other than that, it's a Telltale game, so if you like games where there's multiple choices, with branching story based on your decisions, then you'll really like this game, especially if you're a Batman fan. But if not, don't worry about it, there's plenty more games to look at. A little indie game is next, Teslagrad. It was released in 2015, so it's 6 years old, and is on a 70% discount for the price of £3.59, which is really good. This is a puzzle platformer, where you must ascend the long-abandoned Tesla Tower, utilising Tesla Man's magnetic abilities to solve puzzles and progress higher, uncovering a conspiracy involving the despotic king who rules with an iron fist as you go. This game was given away on PS Plus like 5 years ago, and I completed it then, and I gotta be fair, it was a really enjoyable game, The story was pretty cool and the gameplay was pretty cool. If you're a fan of 2D platformers or puzzle games, you'll really enjoy this, especially at this price. Next we have The Long Journey Home. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on an 85% discount for the price of £2.39, which is really good. This is a roguelike game, where mankind's first experimental jump drive malfunctions on its maiden task flight, and now you and your crew are stranded across the galaxy. So it's up to you to explore and scavenge the resources and help you need to make it home safely. Yeah, I know they've been watching too much Farscape, but the game looks good anyway. And at this price, it's a really good deal. So if you're a fan of roguelikes, especially with sci-fi themes, then you definitely want to take a look at this at least. Another old school game next, Toki. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the price of £2.39, which is dirt cheap. This is an action platformer based on a Mega Drive game from way back in the day, where you play as Toki, who gets turned into an ape by the evil sorcerer Vuki Medlo, who runs off with your sweetheart Miho. Now you must travel through the lands to defeat the evil sorcerer and his minions in order to rescue your love. The graphics for this game look really awesome, and I played the original back in the day and I used to really like it. I might even be tempted to pick this up myself, because like I said, it's based on a game I know I like. Definitely how they should be doing remasters these days. So for fans of 2D platformers, you can't ask for much more. It's an old game, but with new graphics. What more could you want? And for anyone looking to try out a platformer, at this price you might want to take a look at this. We have a bundle next, Unravel Yani bundle. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.74, which is ridiculously cheap for 2 games. These games are both puzzle platformers, where you play as Yani, a character made from a single thread of yarn, on a journey through a world filled with physics-based puzzles and platforming. And the second game includes local co-op, since there are now 2 Yani characters for double the fun. So again, if you're a fan of puzzle platformers, you'll definitely want to check these out, because they're a AAA version of this genre, and there's 2 games for a decent price included. Next up is WRC8 FIA World Rally Championship. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £9.99, which is awesome. The deluxe edition is also on sale for an extra £5, but it basically only includes 3 extra cars, which is not a great deal to me. But if that means a lot to you, take a look at it. This is a rally game, and features a rebuilt career mode with calendar management, R&D to improve performance, staff management, and a completely new dynamic weather system for more realistic gameplay. It includes 50 teams, 14 rallies, and over 100 special stages from the 2019 WRC season. There's a lot of WRC games that are on sale quite regularly, but not the newer ones normally, and never at a decent price like this. So this is a really good deal considering it's one of the newer ones. If you're a rally fan, you definitely want to take a look at it. And the final game I have for you is not one game. So there are 3 Yakuza games on sale, Yakuza 3, 4 and 5, and they're all on a 50% discount for a price of £7.99. So the world's your oyster, pick the one you like the most. In these games you experience the life of a Yakuza member in these extremely popular brawler action games packed full of side quests and activities, including crazy things like running bars and stuff. There's a lot of really cool fighting and action in these games, and it's a bit crazy and kooky. If you want a Japanese themed GTA that's a lot more quirky and more fun, this is exactly what you're looking for. And there's 3 of them from the series on the same price in the same sale. So if you're a Yakuza fan and you haven't played all of the games, this is a good chance to pick up the ones you don't have. And if you've never played Yakuza before, then you might just be tempted to pick up one of these. You'll probably have a lot of fun with it. And that's all the games I have for you from the Games Under £20 PSN sale. What did you think of the games I picked? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Drop the video a like if you did. And if you didn't, throw your complaints in the comments and we can argue about it later. And what about the star buy? Did I pick a good game? Did I pick a bad game? Is there a game I should have picked instead? Again, let me know in the comments and we can argue about it later. I hope you guys found some games you're interested in, but more importantly I hope you guys saved a lot of money. Subscribe if you don't want to miss the next sale, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hoil Vour.